Titleist 907 D2. This was back when there was D1 and D2. D1 I think being the more game improvement. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong down there. Titleist driver's always been quite classic. Fixed neck, quite shallow. This is interesting. I'm looking forward to hitting this one. Let's see how the 907 D2 matches up to the modern day golf clubs. So 907 D2 was a 460cc head. Before we get into what I can find on the tech of this one, which is a little limited, guess what I paid for this club? Come on, down there. Guess what I paid for this club? Like, I can't believe any of the numbers are gonna be any good. Go on, any of you got it? £28.98. This was under 30 quid for this driver. Now, I did get shafted a little. Here's the beauty of buying clubs this way. I might have been a bit lazy, but I don't think it was maybe listed as good as it could be, but that's not fair. It might have been. I was a little lazy when I buy an eBay. I used to be years ago too. It's got this Comet shaft in it, like it's been reshafted. Daiwa grip, which is in good nick actually, out of all of the clubs I've bought, but it's quite thin. And the shaft does feel a little bit loosey-goosey. It'd be interesting to see if anything changes in my numbers. The feel of it is not where I would want this club to be, to kick us off the bat. Now tech, look, I mean, it's a Titleist. There was a D1, there's a D2. This one is the slightly, I think, better players. I think the D1 was maybe a little bit more game improving, but I've got, and might be getting that the wrong way around. I've got an 8.5 degrees loft, fixed neck. They're not playing around with that. Quite a shallow head design. It's not the deepest, and you've got this real raised up line on top. It's titanium. It's 460cc. MOI is up there. I did a bit of research, and I mean, you go 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, 11.5. In loft, left-handed was 8.5, 9.5, 10.5. So typical Titleist. They're trying to get as many iterations out there because they, you know, believe in their product can suit anyone. This is still marketed, and I don't think by Titleist, but in the reviews that I could find, as a golf club for better players. Titleist have always struggled to get away from that, which is not that. They have always made a club for every golfer as well as better players. So they've really been like lumped with that. And then apart from that, to be honest with you, when I look at reviews and any write-ups on this club to get some tech spec, it's literally like saying it's a Titleist driver, you'll get what you expect. Like, they're not having to compete with the crazy taglines that we have now, and it seems almost like they're not having to write all the guff about it, because Titleist just are what they are, and they kind of still are. They just make great clubs and they don't muck about, and that's what it feels like with this one, even though someone has mucked around with this one. Let's see what the numbers come out like. Right, let's see what this can do then. To absolutely buy the ball, it looks like everything you'd expect really from Titleist. You get silver face, black top, sits really neutral, sits really square, looks very classy, very classic. The lineup line's actually like really raised. It's more noticeable than ever. Like, it's really pronounced up, which is quite interesting, bearing in mind that part of the club in modern day clubs now is so talked about with aerodynamics. We're going to do the same test of hitting fairway and smashing them down the range. Down the range to start. Slightly out the bottom, but it's a good sound. It's a classic Titleist sound. Hit that stronger, getting some rebound with the tee today. Yeah, hit that nicely. The loudest we've tested so far. It's the most tingy. Relatively flat looking down by the ball, so it looks fine. It's 460cc, but it's more flattened and kind of not even that stretched back, to be honest. It doesn't look when it's down there. Hit that good. I felt like I hit that well. Yeah, decent numbers and nice and straight as well. Absolutely feel like I could hit this as good as anything for the price. Now, I have got, and this is the problem with eBay, I've got a Comet True Temper graphite shaft, which feels super wobbly, not very stable. I don't think it'll affect my numbers particularly because I can handle these kind of shafts, but you've got to be so careful in this. And it's cheap, but like, I would never choose this shaft. And the trouble is with eBay is sometimes the world's tinkerers, like, they spend their lives on eBay. It's what golf's about, that and forums. You know, this one has definitely been manipulated. Usually as well, these kind of clubs, when they used to come in the pro shop, these kind of golfers have had quite a, you know, they're buying drivers every 4 months. You kind of quite like them when they come into the pro shop. Here's an interesting one for you then. So I've worked in pro shops. That's a good hit again. Accuracy's on point. This person comes into my pro shop. They buy and trade drivers every 3 to 4 months. They enjoy doing it. Each one I buy and sell them. doesn't really improve their ability. You know they're lost. You've told them 5 times that they're going about it the wrong way, but they keep coming back. What do you do with them? Would you sell them another one? Do you see what I mean? That's where you get this funny trade-off between when you're selling product and reviewing it, or selling product and then trying to do the right thing by students, things like that. It was this kind of person that got me out of selling product really as quick as I could, and I enjoyed more just testing it and trying to tell them that it all kind of goes very similar. Maybe it's about you. Right, a couple more, then we'll go to accuracy, which on this test alone is doing pretty good. I had to give that a bit more. Don't know if I pulled it or not. No, pretty straight again. Fraction more out of that one. Sound is solid. Like, you're gonna like the sound of this. It's not carbony, it's not too pingy, but it's definitely got some noise to it. It looks a classic Titleist as well, just like totally classic Titleist, which is a positive. Again, tried to get through that one with more, didn't get all of it unfortunately, but not bad numbers. Before we get into those numbers, let's see if we can hit a fairway with it as well. If those ones are anything to go by, that shouldn't be a problem. Right, fairway test. Can I take it over that right hand bunker a little? Hit that not too bad. Oh, I've carved it. It's made the carry over the bunker, but not quite the fairway. You see that similar pattern with all the drivers I've tested in this ilk, and that's not the driver that's so my fights of shots. Bit toey. Yeah, that's going to be good. Just hold the fairway, just through, but take that. Look how close it is to the line. Again, with this driver, I can't see any reason why I couldn't hit fairway. I don't feel comfortable with the shaft in it. I don't like the feel of it, but you can see from the basic data, and we'll dive into it deeper in a minute, there's feels and then there's reels, and you've got to just dial into which one's most important to you. For me, on a club, if I was buying this brand new, I would never have this driver in it. If I'm buying it for the price that it's at the minute, I might just put up with it. A fairway hit's a fairway hit, isn't it? Unless you are obviously in those forums. And it's a keyboard tapped is a keyboard tapped, isn't it? No, didn't get all of that. Get up! Yeah, that's me. Short right, a little cheeky low heel there. So let's hit one more, see if I can get it out of the middle again. So really what I like is it's doing what I do. Does that make sense? So whatever I get on the face, strike, how I deliver, it's showing. And that's all that you would ever want from a club, really. You don't want any massive surprises, unless there are some big cheats out there where you hit one, all of a sudden it's 20 yards further. But I've been reviewing for quite a few years and yet to find that one. Other people seem to, but I haven't. Bit toey, get up. So again, just missing fairway. I would take that in most of my play. That would be an acceptable shot because you wouldn't be going across a fairway this way. Yeah, interesting numbers. Should we go inside and delve into? I've also captured fairway there and range to see if there's any difference when I'm trying to hit fairway compared to whacking it down the range. That was fun to hit. I could get around that shaft feeling, but I'm quite numb to shafts, the amount of clubs I've tested. I think a lot of people would pick that up and think, oh, I've ordered the wrong one. I can imagine people sending this one back or just whacking it back on eBay and getting something else. Because it's out of all the clubs I've ordered, yeah, why are they reshafting that? But that's what eBay can be about, and those kind of golfers are about. So look, first shot, 2-3-2. It's a bit disappointing, isn't it? 3-4 spin, but look, I struck it right out the bottom. So I'm going to discount that one. It was a bad shot. It was me. If you take that one out, I've got a 2.62 in there, a 2.69. So certainly not the longest out of all of them, but it's averaging 2.59. Spinning at 2.4 with a 2.62 in there, spinning at 2,000, even with that shaft. And even a Callaway driver, if you've seen any of these series, I hit one of my Callaways I used to play from years ago. It took far more shots than that to get back to where I wanted with it. So I was able to adapt to this very, very quickly. If we take that to the fairway hits, again, dotting strike around a bit, which is my swing a bit at the moment, 2.55 average distance, spinning at 2.4. I've got a 1.9 in there going 2.60, and then I've got a 3,000 spinner going 2.44, again, right out the heel. So if you take my poor strikes out of that, you're 2.59, 2.59, peaking height at 37, decent, fraction high, but decent, spinning at 2.2 and 2.4. Really good. I would prefer to have a shaft I feel more comfortable with in there. I think lots of people would have one in there that they feel more comfortable with in there. But again, for 30 quid, the numbers are good to decent to good. I could manage with that shaft, no problem. Like if I couldn't be bothered or didn't have any money to change that, that is not stopping me playing golf. It's not stopping me hit some level of target. You can see I sprayed it a little bit, but I was in this session. And I'm getting decent numbers, spins and what have you, and you're getting what you get out of normal Titleist clubs, which is reliable, isn't it? That's just done pretty good. Maybe in the comments down below, out of all the Titleist classic drivers, which one would you like me to test? Let's not go crazy small, because this is still very much going to fit into that era of probably maxing out, which you can see there. If we go much shorter and smaller heads and those kind of things, yes, you're going to lose a bit of distance, and even though you're getting cheaper. But from the modern-ish era, keeping the price under £100, maybe in that comment section down below, what would you like me to test? And that can be for any driver as well. Let me know. This is really interesting. I'm loving doing this series. If you haven't catched any of the other videos, maybe we've got some links coming up through the video, or even check out the channel. There's loads on there testing these classic drivers. It's amazing how well they do, and it's amazing, I think, how much we get kind of drawn in to wanting bright and shiny things. And like I've said in this series, maybe bright and shiny things aren't going to be as important anymore when we unlock from this horrible COVID situation, and there might be some other priorities, and one of them will be trying to count up how much money we've all got or not, because the world's going to be in a different place. 30 quid lets me play golf and have fun. That's done pretty good, hasn't it?